on the Fuse UK. It's the one and only, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man too sweet to be sour. He is your friend. He is my friend, but he's not the friend behind the person standing behind you. Luke Hughes.
Yes, people, what's happening? A nice one for coming back to the Fuse UK. It's much appreciated as always. Apologies for the setup today. We're having a bit of technical issues down at the studio, so I'm doing it from home with no equipment. But I'm really happy. We've got Cameron Hardy on the show. He's a local lad. I think he's from Darlington. I might have it wrong, but I've been hearing a lot of good things from people I know in the fight game. So I'm really looking forward to catching up with him. Here he is here. Party Hardy. What's happening, brother?
Yes, mate. You all right?
I'm all good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
All good, bro. All good. I was just wondering if we could start this podcast, mate. How I normally do it is basically you telling us a bit about yourself, where your fight journey began, basically.
Yeah, so I actually originally started off Thai boxing when I was about 11-year-old, and that progressed. And then when I joined the Navy, I had a few boxing fights in the Navy, and then I was lucky enough to find a good MMA gym when I was about 20-year-old down in Portsmouth, and that's sort of where my MMA career went. And then once I left the Navy, I then joined Davy Grant's SPG Bishop Auckland, and then where I've been since.
Yeah. So what did you prefer the most, the boxing side of it or the MMA?
No, I did prefer the MMA side of it, especially because I started Thai boxing as well. And then my mum and dad always used to watch the UFC back in like the Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz days.
Yeah.
So I've always been a big fan of it since then. And it's something that I always wanted to do and pursue. So that's what I went on to do. Boxing is a better part of my game. I mean, I spent 2 years on the Royal Navy boxing squad as well, where I was lucky enough to be around some of the best amateur boxers in the country. So I had some good experience and stuff there. But yeah, MMA has been the one, but boxing has always been a better side to me.
Yeah, some of them army shows are class, aren't they, where all the different like battalions are cheering for each other, and that's some of the best shows you'll see are some of the army shows.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're the crowd's always wild in them types of shows. So they always put on a show, and you know that they're always like good, strong, fit lads that get in there, and they always have a good scrap. So it's always a good show to go to.
Yeah, 100%. How did you like the Navy? Did you enjoy your time in the Navy?
Yeah, I mean, I seen things that you would never normally see if you weren't in there. Like I done a 7-month deployment round the Gulf and Med. I've been to the Falklands twice. Not that the Falklands is a place that you'd like to go, trust me. But yeah, like that 7 months, then being to like places like Norway, Rotterdam, Amsterdam, places like that. So it was a good experience. But when I left it was time to leave. Like.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And obviously, with you, what's made you turn over to the bare knuckle now?
So funny enough, Pick was doing a bit of Pick Jardine. He was doing a bit of sparring at our gym, and obviously I know Pick because from when he used to do MMA, he used to be at SPG.
Yeah.
And I just sort of said to Davey, "Look, I fancy you go this. I think I'll do really well in it." So and it just sort of went from there. We managed to get on the Newcastle card, which I'm buzzing about. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, have you been following it a bit, like before you accepted a fight in the BKFC? Like,
yeah. Since Mike Perry started BKFC, that's when I started taking much more of an interest in it. There's a few lads who I know locally who have had a few bare knuckle fights and stuff like that. So I've always had a little interest in it. And then when obviously Mike Perry started smashing up people in it, that's when I took even more of an interest in it. And yeah, it's just went from there, really.
Yeah, it seems to be a good game for the MMA lads to get in with you being able to hit in the clinch, and that a lot of the MMA lads are having like a upper hand in there.
I think it's with the gloves as well. Whereas like boxers, they're used to taking shots on the gloves and stuff like that, where there's no margin for error really when it comes to defending. You can't really deflect shots off your bare knuckle, can you? So it sort of work. I think it works better for sort of MMA fighters.
Yeah, is this something that's going to be totally brand new for you, the bare knuckle, or were you a bit of a Jack the lad growing up, like fighting and stuff like that, going out on the drink?
Nah, you know what? I've never ever been one for having fights out on the drink and stuff like that. I've always just sort of kept myself to myself. I mean, there's been a few times where I've been a bit of a nightmare where I've had a few too many, but that's as far as it's gone, really.
Yeah, so it's just basically the fighting side was just purely athlete side of it.
Yeah, that's it. I just love it. Just like I like love combat sports, love the violence of it, and it's mint. It's just something that I'll always do and always have done.
Yeah, wicked. Do you know much about your opponent who you're going to be fighting on the 8th of June?
Yes, I do. Obviously, he's fought in Cage Warriors and stuff like that as well. He's had a lot of professional MMA fights, and he was a big name. He's done well in MMA and stuff like that. So you can't not respect someone who's had as many fights as he had and fought where he has. So I'm looking forward to it on June the 8th. It should be a really good one.
Yeah, it's a. Have you ever actually been to a show, a BKFC show yet?
I haven't, no.
Oh mate, it's different. It's different gravy, man. Just the atmosphere and everything. You'll love it.
I bet. I don't get me wrong. I've watched him because of like Gary Fox as well. So like I like watching his fights because he always comes to scrap as well. He's a great fighter and all. So like you say, I know like a few of the names that are on the scene and that I like to watch and support as well.
Yeah, you definitely know what you're getting like when Gary Fox is going in the ring, don't you?
Don't you just you know you're in for a good scrap.
Yeah, definitely. It's what this sport's all about, though. Like, you have to be a tough man, don't you, to fight bare knuckle?
Yeah, definitely. There's no hiding, and you soon get found out. You soon get found out.
And how's your camp going for this fight?
Yeah, it's been going brilliant. Like you said, that's one thing that you can expect from professional MMA fighters as well, and that's that we're going to be putting our all into the camp, and that we are going to be turning up on the night. So camp's been going absolutely brilliant. I've been putting the graft in, and I've been loving it.
Yeah, and do you train much with Pick still? Like, have you been getting any rounds in with Picker out?
Yeah. We have boxing sparring on a Friday at SBG, and Pick's been coming down. So me and Pick have been getting some good rounds in, and we've been helping push each other and stuff like that. I've been going to Wearmouth to the boxing gym up there, and also getting some really good sparring rounds in with my best pal Ben Marksby, who's a fantastic boxer as well.
Yeah, great stuff, mate. And I'm taking it you've been looking at the division in the UK, like your division, your weight. And is it a division that you think you can obviously get at the top of?
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, like I've had to go to featherweight for this fight, but I would like to go back down to bantam, and I honestly think that I will be UK champ by this time next year at bantamweight.
Yeah, is that what you normally fight at, bantamweight?
Yeah.
You look big in your photos.
Yeah, no, it is a decent cut to be fair, but like you say, same again. Like MMA, just sort of like they always seem to have a good weight cut nailed on and stuff like that. And I'm still only young. I'm 29-year-old, so the weight cuts don't bother me and stuff like that. So bantamweight's no problem for me.
Yeah, and what can we expect to see from Cameron Hardy on the 8th of June?
Just pure fireworks. Like you mentioned there, tough as well. I'm as tough as they come. There's no quitting me, and I'll push for the finish every single time.
Yeah, I've seen one of your photos. I've seen a few of your fights and that online as well, but it seems like because there's some people who've had like the careers in boxing, like John Ferguson, for example, who's fighting on the same card. He's went through all his fights and never ever been cut her out. But I've seen some of your photos and that you've experienced that side of it, haven't you?
Yeah. I've had a few nasty cuts. It doesn't bother me. And if anything, if blood's trickling down my face, it's like, let's fucking go. Do you know what I mean? If anything, it spurs me on a little bit more. That the fact that there's blood all over my face, it doesn't scare me one bit.
Yeah, and obviously with the bare knuckle, is it the excitement of it, how violent it is while you're doing it? Just that buzz of being in the fight.
Yeah, it's just proper frisk, innit? It's just real good frisk. Like you're basically having like an organized street fight almost. Just like the fact that you're allowed to punch someone bare knuckle and get away with it's brilliant to me. So I'm looking forward to that. Like,
and what's your thoughts on the circle ring?
Yeah, it looks good. Davey was actually explaining to me how it's like it's not one that you can like lean back on or anything like that. It's a good solid ring and stuff like that. So again, sort of suits MMA fighters, because when you're in the cage, there's none of that. That's it. There's no leaning back and stuff like that. So it looks a good ring to be in, to be fair.
Yeah, mate, it's class. Even like the full production you'll see on the night, mate. It's unbelievable, man, the way they all do it.
Oh, I've heard really good things about how BKFC's ran and how the shows are ran and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to be a part of it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's going to be great, mate. I'm really looking forward to it myself. But before we wrap it up, Cameron, is there anything else you want to share with us? Anything you want to share about the fight? Any sponsors, anything like that, bro?
Yeah, obviously, massive thanks to all my sponsors, because this sort of journey that I've been on wouldn't be possible without the sponsors. Massive thank you to everyone who's bought tickets already, and I've had a lot of people interested in stuff. So there's definitely going to be a good crowd there, and it's going to be nice and loud for when I walk out and for when we're scrapping. So I'm really looking forward to it, and obviously thank you to BKFC for the opportunity as well.
Wicked, bro. And lastly, have we got a little message for your opponent on the 8th of June?
Yeah, just bring your A game and be ready for a good scrap, because that's what I'm expecting. Expect fireworks.
Get up there, lad. I really appreciate you coming on, Cameron, and thank you very much for your time, bro.
Perfect. Cheers for that, mate. Thank you for having me.
Speak to you soon, bro.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Bye-bye, bye-bye. Yes, people, Cameron Hardy. I've heard a lot of good things about this lad, so make sure you tune into this kid's fight. Also, I'm going to put his social medias and that in the description of this video, so make sure you head over there. I'm sure there's room for sponsors and that as well. If anybody wants to jump on board and support him in his bare knuckle journey, make sure you hit him up on his social medias. But we're going to be catching up with his opponent next at 9 o'clock. We'll see what's saying from that side of it, but really appreciate everybody tuning in. It's much appreciated as always. We'll be back in a minute.